Hello again. It's Wednesday, it's Science Week Live. I'm Niamh and I'm here talking today with a whole new bunch of transition year students. Today, they're from Regina Mundi Secondary School in Cork. I've been having a ball over the last few months working with lots of transition year students across Ireland, trying to find out where science sits with them in their lives, what's important to them. And they've put together this show the same way with Monday's show when we had the St. Louis from Dundalk. They've made a show that they feel reflects where science is with them. And this is a show for you, for all of you watching today, made by them. And we want to hear from you. We want to know what you like about the show, where you're from, where science sits with you, or you can ask any question to any of the girls that we'll be meeting today. So we've a packed show as ever. And I think what we should probably start to do is see what it would be like to be a student at Regina Mundi. So let's see the video that they put together.
Here at Regina Mundi College, we believe that every student is excellent at something. Our motto is each for all and all for each.
This is the library.
This is our computer room. This is the well. This is where we have post-school sessions.
This is the art room. This is one of our many science labs.
This is the Irish classroom.
And this is our music room.
This is our hydration station, which was supported by the Cork City Council. It was bought with the money raised by students who ran a marathon over the summer. Already we've reused nearly 17,000 bottles. This is our lounge.
Our school was founded by Ms. Daisy Corrigan in 1961 in an effort to create a learning environment with the main aims of cherishing excellence in each and every member of the school community. Our motto, Sapiente Virtute, means with wisdom and courage.
Bye!
Here they are, the amazing Regina Mundi from Cork. How are you doing? You're very welcome to the show. It's lovely to be here finally, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've been working for a long time and you've done amazing work today. So let's get everybody to hear about you. So let's introduce yourselves. So Solène.
Hi, my name's Solène. I'm 15 years old and I sing and I play guitar.
Ella.
Hi, my name is Ella. I'm also 15 years old and I'm a singer and I play the piano.
Okay. Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm 15 years old and I love ballet.
Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm 15 and I love playing piano and hockey.
Okay. Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm 15 and I like to play camogie.
Ellie.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm 15 years old and I love swimming.
Oh, great. Are you excited to be here today?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
excited.
you put a lot of work into it. How long were you working on putting everything together today?
About like 2 months.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 months. Yeah, I think it was about 2 months. So let's see the fruits of all that work. So what actually is coming up in the show today? Solène.
So first we have a little video review on music and mood. What is music and why it affects our mood?
Okay, great. Ella.
So we will be looking at social media and the comments that are coming through and answering them about the project.
Very good. Lily.
Then we're looking at some events that are happening in Cork for Science Week.
Very good. Great. Representing Cork Science Festival. Yes.
And
Anna.
we're also going to be showing a project that was done by our other classmates about the differences between Eastern and Western medicines.
Sounds very good. Sarah.
Next we'll discuss our interview with Niall Breslin.
Ooh, also known as Bressie, which would be great. And Ellie, anything else?
We have a bloopers reel at the end for you.
Oh, great. Lots of mistakes. We always like bloopers reels. Okay, that sounds great. Wow, there's a lot going on. All right, we better get going because, you know, the clock is ticking. So I guess let's start with seeing the science report that you made about music and mood.
Can you imagine a world without music? Well, we certainly can't. Music is everywhere. Every time we turn on the radio, the TV, or even our mobile phones, we hear music. Everybody has a different relationship with music, and everybody likes different aspects of it. But why is this? Why do we enjoy our favourite genres so much? Why is it that some music makes us happy, why some music makes us sad, and why some music makes us want to jump up and down? Well, we hope to uncover this in our project as we find out why and how we understand music. Hope you enjoy.
There are two sides to our brains, the right side which is more artistic and the left side which is more logical. Listening to music engages both sides, as the ability to respond to music is more the right side, but being able to comprehend things like pitch and rhythm more engages the left side.
Listening to music and even learning an instrument is good for us as it engages both sides and can affect a child's cognitive development and can even improve a child's overall intellectual ability. With this being said, most musicians and artists have a more right side dominating brain.
Music has the power to trigger feelings in listeners. The three main areas of the brain that are responsible for these emotional responses are the nucleus accumbens, the amygdala, and the cerebellum.
No other animal understands music like us humans do.
Songbirds, who we would typically associate with music, can recognise a melody and repeat it, but lose this ability when the key of the melody is changed because the tune sounds unrecognisable to them. Monkeys such as the rhesus monkeys can't feel a beat, but they can understand octave equivalents. However, bonobos, our close evolutionary cousins, can tell if there is a beat, but they can't synchronise it.
Humans have an understanding in all factors as what we see as music. Our brains can comprehend rhythm, synchronization, pitch, harmony, language patterns, and many. Because of this, humans are the only creatures that can put all of the pieces of the musical puzzle together.
Learning is repeated sound and creates foundation for music because it lets us recognize patterns. Pitch is the note. The volume is called dynamics. If we talk high-pitched, loud and fast, it's usually due to excitement. Music is like a language used to express moods. High-pitched, loud and fast music can make us feel excited.
Sound is created using vibrations that pass through your ear into your brain. How fast the vibration is creates the pitch, which is measured in frequency. Faster vibrations create higher frequencies, which means a higher pitch, whereas slower vibrations create lower frequencies.
For example, when I play the sixth string on this guitar without fretting, it creates a low note. This is because the string is long, the vibrations are slow, and therefore the pitch is much lower. As I fret the string, it gets shorter, the vibrations faster, and the note higher. Thinner strings will also create a much higher.
For example, the sixth string on this guitar will vibrate slower when it's not fretted as it's longer. As I fret the strings, the string gets shorter, the vibrations faster, and the note higher. Thinner strings will also vibrate faster, making higher pitched notes.
We often associate music with emotions, but what are emotions? An emotion is a conscious mental reaction which is typically directed towards a specific object.
These emotions can be expressed through physical motions, such as crying or laughing. The limbic system in the brain is responsible for us humans feeling emotions. So when we listen to music we enjoy, the limbic system becomes much more engaged, which can make us feel happy.
Music follows a series of patterns and rules we call music theory, whether we're aware of it or not. Our brain picks up on these patterns and always tries to further growth into rest. When our expectations are met or succeeded, dopamine is released in our brain, which is a huge part of why we enjoy music. Music that puts us on edge, like in horror films, is dissonant and doesn't follow these patterns. The more we listen, the more we get the pattern, the better we predict, and the more we enjoy. This is probably why people end up liking the genre of music they hear the most.
We decided to conduct an experiment to see if the simple sound of a moving chair repeated could actually end up sounding like music. To do this, we used the app BandLab. We asked the girls to rate the sound on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being an environmental sound and 5 being music.
1, 2, 1, 2. Three.
3, 4,
3. 4.
Yeah, 4.
As we can see from this experiment, the more the sound of the chair was repeated, the more the girls associated it with music.
The repeated sound creates a rhythm and a pattern for the brain to pick up on. The patterns of sound are what we comprehend as music, as well as environmental factors that reinforce musicality.
I'm blown away by that video. There's just so much in it. How long did it take you to make?
Good few weeks.
Yeah.
And how did you edit it? Did you edit that on your phone, did you say? Oh my gosh, that's incredible, because there's just so many cutaways and sound levels and things. Incredible. How did you come up with the idea?
Well, everyone in our group kind of either plays an instrument, sings, is in choir,
Yeah.
does music at school.
So we just decided since it's something that we all had in common, we just thought it would be the best thing.
Yeah. What did you learn from doing it then?
I learned, most of the stuff I learned was about like psychology and what goes on inside of our brains, like how much we like patterns and how music is anything, any sound in a pattern.
Yeah, because you could see that when you did the chair, and as long as it repeats, we just hear the music of it. It's amazing. So you did a fair bit of research then as well, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, gosh, there's a lot of work in that. So you said music is really important to you. So tell me more about that, Solène.
So I play guitar and I sing, and I also write music.
Oh,
yeah.
Very good. And what about you, Anna?
Well, I've been playing piano and learning music theory since I was about like 6 or 7. So it's kind of, like a really big part of my life now.
And have you got a grade?
I'm on like grade 6 out of 8 on piano.
Wow. And what is 8? 8 is like
8 is
Tchaikovsky or something, is it?
Well, yeah, 8 is like that, like as far as you can go in learning.
So then you're kind of done. You're done.
Yeah.
And then it's just like go play the piano. You don't need to get. This is fantastic. And then science as important to you as music? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please.
Yes.
Oh, good. Good. I
Yeah.
didn't plant that at all.
Yeah, physics is like one of my favourite subjects in school after music. So.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I just enjoy it. I feel like it's really interesting to see how everything around you works because you see it, but you don't really think too hard about how much it works.
Yeah. What about you, Anna? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes.
Well, music and like science as well, because they're like my favourite subjects. I do like all 3 sciences and music as my choice subject. So,
and which of the 3 sciences do you like the most?
Physics.
Is that because of Mr. Murphy?
Yeah.
He's a great teacher, isn't he? He's brilliant. He's the person that we've been working with together. So great stuff. Okay, I could talk to you forever, but I better not because time is ticking away. So tell us about the interview that we have coming up now next.
With Bressie, Niall Breslin. Yeah. The girls did an interview with him over Zoom.
We did it. We did it yesterday because he wasn't available today. So let's take a look at the interview that the girls had with Bressie.
Bressie, how are you? I'm Grace Boulder.
I'm Sarah Finnegan.
I'm Ellie Newton. We're just going to ask you a few questions, if that's all right with you. So you're a very accomplished person. Could you tell us about your achievements throughout your career?
I've done a lot of stuff, but I've always been kind of taught by my parents not to put myself in a box, which was really important to my career. I started out as an athlete, professional rugby player, and then I moved into music, and then I moved into TV, documentary making, writing, went back to college. I'm now gone back to college again to start studying again. So everything I do has creativity at the core, using the creative brain to solve problems, which is what I've done, no matter what it was, whether it was an athlete or musician or an author or writer. It's the brain and what it does that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, thank you. And as we all know, you're a coach on The Voice Ireland. Did you feel any pressure coaching the contestants?
No, because, the reality is you couldn't feel the pressure or look like you felt the pressure because your job is to keep them comfortable and focused and safe and, stress-free. So my job was to do that. And when you're kind of leading somebody or you're coaching somebody, your job is to be able to make them feel like they can just do what they're good at. So at times, live television is pretty nerve-wracking, because you're in live television, there's no second chances. So you got to be really on your game. So when you're doing live television, you got to be able to be almost 2 seconds ahead of yourself, which sounds easy, but it's not.
Thank you.
In our project, we talked about how music influences your mood. Do you think the music influences your mood?
Music, if you get into the nitty-gritty of the science, and now music therapy is becoming one of the most kind of talked about and prescribed forms of therapy for people, not with just mental health issues, but people with cognitive issues like Alzheimer's and dementia. The research around that's growing because the part of the brain that kind of music engages is just this part of the brain that never, there's people who've got, serious kind of Alzheimer's who barely remember their family, but can remember that song when they were 7 years of age. And they can dance to that song. There's something very powerful in that. And for me, I perform and play music and write music, and I also am a massive consumer of it. I couldn't live without it. It does something to my brain, to my mind, to my body. And I teach mindfulness. And to me, music is probably the most effective way to teach people mindfulness, because you all love music. If you just close your eyes and listen to your favorite track and imagine your singer in the studio behind the microphone actually really engage with music in a different way. It can really settle how you feel if you're feeling anxious and stuff. So I use it as a tool of mindfulness.
In our project, we also talked about how music follows a lot of patterns that appeal to your brain. And do you think that this correlates in any way with your rugby career? For example, do you think that music has helped you through that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the kind of neuroscience around the parts of the brain that engage when you listen to music and or play or perform music, the Broca's, the Wernicke's area of the brain, these are the same areas of the brain that are engaged when you're meditating. And meditation is something that I am massively advocate for, but teach and study. But it's probably because they're so similar. But when it comes to rugby, our sport in general, you know, the problem with sport is that people have this perception of athletes as beacons of strength and power, and they never struggle. I never struggled as bad as I did when I played rugby, because so much was expected of who I should be and what I was, and I wasn't those things. I wasn't able to be, because nobody can be that. No human on earth is invincible. And that's with rugby. When I look back at when I played rugby, I think what got me through that was the fact that I was also a musician, and I used to give guitar lessons to the rugby players. I used to teach music, and I always say rugby is what I did, but music is what I am. You can be hugely successful in whatever you want to do, but you can also have another life where you can just be that stupid, mad, funny, silly, all the above. We need that. We need that mess in our life. It's really important.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. It was really helpful towards.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Fair play to you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
What was that like, talking to Bressie?
It was really cool, definitely to hear his opinions on our on our project and stuff like that. It was really impressive.
Yeah, yeah. He's not. You're too young to know who Bressie is, really, though, aren't you? Because for our age group, he's done a lot, rugby, and then a great music career, and then he's gotten into mindfulness and stuff. But you asked him some great questions. Like, you asked him a very good question about bringing music into his rugby career. Did you like what he said?
Yeah, I loved what he said. I thought it was really interesting how he was saying that he was teaching music to the other rugby players.
I did too. It's amazing.
That was so nice.
Yeah. And I think he was very gracious in what he said, that he found it difficult to be a rugby player. He felt this pressure, and he just doesn't want to be that way anymore. What did you learn from the interview, Sarah?
I definitely learned to be more honest in his answers. I really thought he was being honest about it, and I really do admire it.
Yeah, and of course you have an interest in psychology. We were talking earlier. So what would you like to do after you leave school?
I'd love to become a therapist. It's definitely a dream of mine.
Right, well that's what he's kind of doing as well, with his mindfulness and stuff. Where does that come from, that interest in therapy for you?
I'm not really sure. I guess ever since I was young, I would just observe what other people do, and then I kind of had a fascination with that.
That's amazing. From what age? Can you remember what age?
Since I was very small, I say. I was very small.
That's really interesting. So you kind of know how you're going to do that. You've got it kind of figured out how you. Is it a difficult thing to do, to study psychology? I'm sure there's loads of different ways of doing it, isn't there?
I think learning about the brain is really difficult, all the different parts of it. But besides that, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Do you study biology do you get to do the brain at all for Leaving Cert? I mean, you might not yet though. You're only in transition year.
We discussed a small bit. We're mainly focusing on bacteria at the moment though.
Okay. Well, bacteria rocks as well. Bacteria is pretty cool too. What about you, Ellie? So where do you see your future going? Have you got that figured out yet?
I'm not sure. I really enjoy music, and I love science as well, and I'm kind of torn between the two. I'm not sure which.
Which aspect of science do you like?
I love physics and biology, and I do both of those in school.
Right. And then music. How does music express itself for you?
Music. Well, I sing and I play guitar and piano, so I really love music.
And are you musical as well?
Yeah, I sing in the choir in school.
Gosh, you're all musical. You're all great friends, though, right?
Yeah.
So does music kind of connect you all?
Definitely.
And science too, right? Please say yes. Please say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and for this project, working with me, what was it like for you to think about what science you wanted to talk about for this program? What was that like?
It was definitely an eye-opener, really. It definitely explored my interest in science, and it made me realise a lot more stuff about science that I never really knew, how it relates to music.
Very good, great stuff. And what about you, Ellie?
Well, I didn't realise how much science there kind of was in music.
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, doing the research was really interesting, I thought.
Yeah, it is. Science is everywhere. See, science is everywhere. Yeah. Great. Thank you very much, Ellie and Sarah. So you also, in addition to making these science reports, you also put together some quiz questions for our viewers. So take a look at this question.
In the last video, we talked a lot about the brain and its mechanisms. But how fast does the information in our brains actually travel?
Is it A, 268 miles per hour, B, 254 miles per hour, or C, 98 miles per hour? Stay tuned to find out.
Hi, Lily. Hi. What are we doing? What are we doing now?
We're looking at Cork Science Festival.
Ah, okay. What did you find out about Cork Science Festival?
So it's an event running from the 13th until the 20th of November. It's on
this week. Yeah.
From 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's being held in UCC's Western Gateway building. The festival features a variety of events, including science tours, exhibitions, shows, workshops, and school events for all ages, all of which are free but must be pre-booked on Cork Science Festival website, which is www.corksciencefestival.ie. There will be chances to meet with UCC researchers working on environmental issues such as climate change, marine ecosystems, air pollution, and renewable energy.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. That's great. So a nice jam-packed science festival there.
Definitely.
But would you, if those events were outside of school, would you go to a Science Week event? Honestly.
Probably not.
Probably not. That's okay. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. That's why I wanted to work with you on this program, because I really want to know where science is in your life. So what kind of event and where would it need to be for you to want to go?
Well, I guess the most important thing is that it's local, and because I feel like if it's out of people's way, they won't really go.
Yeah.
And also to like actually know about it, and for it to be something that I'm interested in. Like I really like psychology.
Psychology, yeah. So does Sarah as well. So if you went to an event that was in a venue that you felt was relative to you, or not relevant to you even, relevant to you, and on a topic that you like, you would go to a Science Week event. Okay, yeah. All right, okay, thank you. So tell me about, where is science in your life then?
Well, I do science in school. I do biology and physics, and I really enjoy both.
Do you think you'll do you think you're going to have a career in that area?
I'm not sure. I think it could go either way, because I really enjoy music and performing in ballet, but then I also really enjoy music, and they're sort of two opposite things. So it could either go either way, really.
Okay, and ballet. Tell me about ballet. So how long have you been doing ballet?
Since I was like 4.
Wow. Is there grades for ballet as well?
There are, yeah, and there's showcases. Like I was in the Nutcracker in Cork Opera House there at the beginning of November.
Wow, so it's a big part of your life, Lily.
Yeah.
And then tell me about music then.
Well, I'm in grade 7 in violin in the Cork School of Music, and I'm in school music activities like choir and things like that, and I also do singing lessons.
Wow, you just never stop. You never stop. And so your future, would you like it to be music or psychology or all of it together?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Yeah. Well, I think you've got a lot to choose from there. So that's great. Thank you very much. So there's another science report coming up. Do you want to introduce it there?
There's a video presentation that another group of girls did on the comparison between Western and Eastern medicine, which was done by Grace Bowler, Catherine Cullinan, Leah Davis, Zealand Kong, Claire McCarthy, and Lily O'Regan Lynch.
Thank you very much, Lily.
Thank you.
Let's watch it.
We are in our school bathrooms, and we're going to be swabbing the locks of the doors for bacteria, because people touch them every day coming in and out of the bathrooms, and we think that there be a lot of bacteria present.
I'm going to use this cotton bud to swab and take a sample of the bacteria that's on this lock.
I'm just going to lift off half of it, just so that less air gets in. And we're just going to swab the whole thing. And it has agar at the bottom to provide nutrients for the bacteria to grow.
Right now we're going to the home ec room to get some garlic, honey, and aloe vera, hopefully. So we have the honey, right? And we're gonna contaminate the cotton swab with the honey.
The honey works better.
The honey works so
Yeah. It's good.
It was really hard.
Yeah, so
I've never seen that.
yeah, no, that's like so kind of freaky.
That much?
Yeah, but I think you can. I need to crush the garlic.
Okay. What's up with lunch the other end of the
Okay, there you go. Okay, so here I have some garlic and I'm gonna swab the garlic. And I broke it in half so I have access to all of the garlic. So that's that swabbed. I'm gonna lift this up at an angle so less bacteria from the air can get in. I'm just gonna swab the agar on the petri dish. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
It's really soothing for sunburn.
At the back or? Okay.
And then we're just gonna close the work.
Sarah, that was amazing. So another group that couldn't be here today, they made this science report. It's incredible, isn't it? A lot of time went into that.
Really good. It was so much effort. I wish they were here today to show us.
Yeah, they were brilliant. I met Grace yesterday. Of course, she was on the interview with you and Bressie. So they basically went into your bathroom, which was obviously a microbiological jungle, and took samples. And then they were checking to see if aloe vera, garlic and honey had antibacterial properties, that it could actually kind of reduce the number of bacteria that grew on the plates. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Over what length of time did they do that? A couple of weeks or?
I think they spent 1 week researching everything and then they spent a week then growing the bacteria and stuff like that, which is really impressive.
Wow. And then editing it, who put all that together?
I do believe Zealand edited it.
Wow. And on their phone?
Yeah, simple as that.
Wow, you guys, like, you put a lot of time into this. It's a brilliant, brilliant report. So did you feel, when you were making your report, did it feel too overwhelming, or were you having fun the whole time?
I was having great fun the entire time. I was with my friends and then we all divided the work among us and it was just amazing.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks very much. So what do we have coming up next? I think what we have coming up next is the answer to that question that we had at the very start. So let's look at the answer to the question, the brain teaser.
Earlier we asked you, how fast do you think the information in your brain travels?
Let's see if you were right. The answer is A, 268 miles per hour.
Yep, that's right. Our brain moves incredibly fast, and in the metric system, that's 0.12 kilometers per second.
Hi Ella, haven't had a chance to chat with you at all yet. You were in the big group, I didn't get a chance to talk to you on your own. So tell me a little bit about yourself then. So where is science in your life?
So science is a really important to me. I became really interested in science around second year, because I went into a class with the teacher that brought us here, Mr. Murphy, and me and my friend we just became really interested in science from then on, and it became one of my main interests in school.
That's fantastic. Did you do extracurricular activities then outside of school with Mr. Murphy? I know he does loads of things like astronomy and CanSat and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, not really at the time, but hopefully this year we'll have plenty of opportunities because of fourth year.
And like all the rest, are you into music too?
Yeah, music is a massive part of my life. I've been singing since I was 5 years old. And I love singing, and I love playing the piano, and I love playing music with my friends, and we have a band.
So what's the future? Is it going to be science or music or both, or what do you want to do?
I feel like one or the other is probably the right way to go for me, because maybe even incorporating both into my career, because I just love them both so much, and they both have such a massive role in my life. So.
That's fantastic. Okay, right, because your time is ticking away, I better stop asking you questions. We have some questions that came in from the channel. So what have people been asking?
So how do you suggest other people our age get into science, from Leah? So I would suggest probably getting involved in extracurricular activities, maybe asking people about, or asking your teacher about what you can do to get involved, maybe watch plenty of science documentaries and further your knowledge in the subject.
What does Mr. Murphy do well that captured your imagination? What did he do? Because maybe if they knew that, they'd know.
I feel like he just really let the class get involved, and it wasn't really an academic class at the time. Well, it was very academic, but it was kind of everyone could have an opinion and just get involved.
It was relatable.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What other questions are there?
So what do you enjoy most about these experiences in the lab, from Daniel? So I really enjoy just having the laughs with the friends, because it's it is a fun experience, and you learn a lot from it as well.
Yeah.
So I just learned a lot about myself in the time, and I just became really interested in it further.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And then last question then.
What was your favourite part of being involved in the show, from Anne-Marie?
So what was your favourite part of being involved in the show?
Oh, I say my favourite part was maybe the memories you can take away from it, because it's such it's such a good experience to have, and I made so many new friends as well.
Ah, that's terrific. Because great. Well, it's been lovely working with you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. All right. So I think we're going to look at this blooper reel, and then we're going to wrap up the show. It's gone so fast. So let's look at your blooper reel.
There are two size strawberries. Size strawberries. Sarah!
Hi, we're Regina Mundi TY students. Hi, we're Regina Mundi. Hi, we're Regina Mundi. Hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Go.
Hi, we're Regina. Hi, we're Regina Mundi TY students. Stop.
Patterns of music, of sound. Patterns of sound.
Earlier we asked you how fast the information in your brain travels.
This is our hydration station. Sorry. It's bought with the money.
Okay, with that many bloopers, it must have taken you months to make all those reports. You put in a lot of work, so thank you very much. Have you had fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. And over the last few months, has it been fun? Yeah, I've really loved getting to know you and the other girls. Tell me again, who is not here today that we have to say thanks to?
We have Grace Bowler, Zealand Kong, Catherine Culnan, Leah Davis, Lily O'Regan Lynch and Claire McCarthy.
Well done, Lily. Thanks very much. Thanks to you, and also thanks to your amazing teacher, who is
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. John Murphy. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody here in the studio. We've had a great time, haven't we? Everybody at SFI, especially Michael and Rebecca and Diego, who is one of my colleagues. And we have a fantastic show for you on Friday. We have Regina Mundi from Sion Hill. They'll be the transition year students that will be sharing their science thoughts. But we have to say thanks to Michael, the signer. So thank you very much, Michael. Let's wave at Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thanks very much. And that's it. We're done. And I hear you're going to sing us out because you're all so musical. Yes, you are. I'll give you the note. Do you want the note? Yeah. So goodbye, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Lovely.